What is going on, homies? My name is TheJongasm, and today's subject of discussion is an Aladdin theory. I know I'm just as surprised as you are, a video that isn't about Star Wars, who'da thunk? I'm actually really excited to bring you guys this theory today, one, because I haven't talked about Aladdin really in depth since this channel was first getting established, and also this theory fixes a pretty big plot hole in the movie's storyline. To be totally honest, this isn't a plot hole that I was aware of, but some of you This isn't even a plot hole that I was aware of, but some of you deep thinkers might have been. Do any of you guys remember Aladdin's first wish that he made? It was to become a prince, a real live prince, and Genie made it happen. So can someone explain to me why, after he legally and legitimately turns into a prince, he feels the need to confess to Jasmine that he isn't a prince? And what's with the end of the movie? Why does Genie encourage Aladdin to use his third wish on becoming a prince? Why would he do that when Aladdin already wished for it? Aladdin is Genie's friend, and this third wish is literally Aladdin deciding whether or not he should set Genie free or become royalty. So obviously Genie isn't trying to screw over the guy or cheat him. Where is the logic in this movie? As it turns out, it is still there, but unless you have an excellent eye for detail or you have a very clear understanding of what the duties of a sultan entail, you may have missed a pretty important part of this movie's conflict. The first thing that we're going to examine is the fact that genies are allowed a lot of creative freedom when granting wishes. They are obliged to fulfill the exact wording of the wish, but they are able to add their own interpretation. For example, if I wished for a brand new Mercedes-Benz, I may get a brand new Mercedes-Benz in toy car form. Technically, the wish was fulfilled in its exact wording, so I really can't be mad. Another thing to think about is a wish can be granted with just the master of the genie answering a yes or no question in the affirmative. This is actually what happens with Aladdin's second wish. So like I said before, Genie obviously genuinely cares for Aladdin, so he chooses to exploit the ambiguity of Aladdin's first wish. Instead of simply granting Aladdin the title of prince and sending him on his way, he transforms him into Prince Ali Ababwa. Aladdin is now not only legally a prince, but he also has the lifestyle of a prince. He's got the riches and the responsibilities. However, even though his royalty is completely legitimate, Aladdin seems to suffer from something called acute imposter syndrome. This means that somebody can't accept his or her accomplishments. In other words, Aladdin really is a prince, but he just doesn't feel like one, and this will end up being his greatest character flaw. It's because of his feelings of shame that Aladdin lies about his origin story to Jasmine. Instead of telling her, "I was poor and then a genie made me rich," he tells her, "I was always wealthy." He feels that Jasmine couldn't love him if she knew they were born to different social classes, because no princess could love a street rat. Next, we have the scene where Genie tells Aladdin to tell her the truth. Despite what it may seem like at first glance, Genie isn't simply playing Aladdin's moral compass or moral barometer, as Steve Harvey would say for some reason. Instead, he was playing wingman like a true homie would. He was encouraging Aladdin to get over his self-doubt and be himself because he knew in the long run this would help him with Jasmine. Obviously, Genie couldn't use his powers to turn Jasmine's heart, but there was nothing stopping him from giving Aladdin some solid advice. Then we have the classic magic carpet ride scene. Jasmine falls in love with Prince Ali / Aladdin and wants to marry him, and this should be great news. However, Aladdin's sense of inferiority starts to get the best of him once more when he imagines himself being the next sultan. He ends up convincing himself that he's so unworthy of this good fortune that only Genie's powers can stop him from losing it all. Shortly thereafter, the antagonist Jafar takes the lamp. He uses his second wish to become a great sorcerer, as we all remember, but a lot of people forget his first wish, which was to become sultan. As Sultan, he has all of the powers of the legitimate Sultan of Agrabah. This means he has the authority to grant and revoke princehood. During his first and only song, Jafar sings "So Long, Prince Ali," and this annuls Aladdin's first wish. Now, let's forward to the end of the film. Jafar is trapped in the lamp and Agrabah is saved. Because Jafar is now a prisoner and can't attend to his duties, Jasmine's father becomes the de facto Sultan. However, because of Jafar, Aladdin is still no longer a prince. That is why Genie suggests to Aladdin that he use his third wish to become a prince. Fortunately, the Sultan comes to his senses and issues an executive order saying that Jasmine can marry whoever she pleases. This scene also shows that Aladdin has overcome his biggest character flaw. Right after Jasmine chooses to marry Aladdin, he says, "Please, call me Al." This is important because before he felt torn between two personas, the street rat and Prince Ali. However, here at the end of the film, he finally realizes that he can be both. Whereas he began as a diamond in the rough, he now has the executive power of the ruling class with the experience and compassion that he learned by growing up on the streets. Even his clothes are a grandified version of his street rat outfit. Let's also not forget that Genie called Aladdin Al throughout the whole movie, so this means that he may have already known Aladdin's true identity. And that, my friends, is today's Aladdin theory. What do you think? Make sure to leave me your thoughts in the comment section down below or click that thumbs up button. If you know anybody else who would like this theory, remember that you can easily share it with them by clicking that share button down below and posting to Facebook or Twitter. If you want to be notified every time I upload a conspiracy theory, that is what that subscribe button is there for. I upload a conspiracy theory every single week, so you'll definitely get your fix. And as always, I've got links to my Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter in the description down below, as well as a link to the original Reddit post that inspired this video. I've been pointing my finger a lot. Thank you all so much for watching, and here's hoping your vidgasm wasn't too messy.